Hey everybody, welcome back to Well That Didn't Work. We're in an earthquake now. This mic shoved the cameras. If you have not already liked and subscribed to us on YouTube and via... I'm really shaky right now. Like and subscribe to us, hit the bell so you get all the notifications. We have some really great stuff going on as far as L5R, which is what we're going to be playing tonight. And lots of other cool stuff still on its way out, like the finale of our Call of Cthulhu will be next week, as well as new shows starting in August that will be live, like a new Dungeons & Dragons campaign, a new campaign for Star Wars, and we'll be continuing Legend of the Five Rings as well. And we're even looking at starting a new Genesis campaign. Not in August, we'll probably start that one in September, but it'll be right on the heels of everything else. So we got a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. Year 2 for Well That Didn't Work is starting in September, and we have a couple of other announcements that'll be coming next month as we approach that kind of birthday date. And we're really looking forward to everything. September 19th was that's when we released our first episode. We started recording last August. But September 19th was the first episode out into the wild. Wow. So, yeah, man. We're almost there. What a long, strange trip it's been. So, thanks so much for all of you who do watch and listen intently and intensely. And I really hope you enjoy the session we have planned for tonight as we go back into Legend of the Five Rings. And we have to start on a slightly sad note. So, is everybody ready?
To be sad?
Last time on Legend of the Five Rings and Warrior's Path, our adventurers had to leave Toshi Ranbo. Now this was a couple of episodes ago at this point, but this is for the live feed.
I quit. I'm out.
Our adventurers left Toshi Ranbo through a rift into the dream reality, the dream plane. At which point they met with Isawa's father, who had recently deceased, and had become a sort of prophet that traverses the dream planes.
I gotta fix them. Sorry.
We've been sitting here for an hour.
Yeah, but he was busy for that hour too.
That's true.
So Isawa's father was traversing the dream planes and gave them some advice. They then went through the dream planes on their way to the Forest of Dreams in the Unicorn Lands. Didn't quite make it there before they ran into, I think in the episode I called it the Omen. That's not the right word for it. It's now I can't remember it again. So we're going to stick with Omen of Fire. What's another word for
Oracle?
Oracle. Boom.
Yeah.
Oracle.
Oh, so I have to change my note.
Yeah, the Oracle of Fire is who they ran into. And he gave them some information.
Matsubadari?
That's who he was. He's just the Oracle of Fire now. After their meeting with him, he urged them to go back to Rokugan to meet with Akoto Matsumoro, who, if you guys remember, was an Emerald Magistrate in training as well. And she had been hiding in Scorpion Lands under the impression that if he were to send you guys back, then the Dark Oracle of Fire would get to do something in the world in return. You don't know what that is. You may not ever know what that is. You may never run into it. But hesitantly, you guys agreed to it so that you could be pushed along your way to meet with people who already were considered his emissaries, basically. People who already had contact with the Omen of Fire ongoing. And you also learned in that kind of conversation that the Oracle of the Void is missing or dead or something. Like, they have just not been around them and seen, which is why the woman who he let you know was the Dark Oracle of the Void, why she's able to run rampant, because there is nobody to balance her. And that is where kind of the story is right now. And we're gonna jump in with a little bit of a sort of minor sad monologue. Kakita Isamu kneels as darkness sets over the land. Blood trickles between his knuckles as he sits in silence. One fist clenched around the hilt of his wakizashi. The other clenches around its blade. Contemplating the tragedy that exists in the betrayal of his lord's trust. Unsure if the Ruby Champion will forgive him for abandoning his post in Toshiranbo, Isamu sets off silently. No goodbyes, no words. Taking on this journey alone will be his most difficult yet, but perhaps the most necessary. Now, as the sun sets over Red Tail Cavern, Akoto Matsumoto draws on the wall a map leading from Scorpion Lands to a question mark resting over the mountains in the Land of the Dragon. And so I think we have a map to toss up on the screen. A picture of a map, Mike? You can go ahead and switch back over to the camera.
That's
feeds.
good because I didn't put audio behind that.
Oh no, did you really not?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so if you were just looking at that map silently, the bottom right corner was the Ruby Champion. The bottom left corner is where the players are.
That's what I was looking for. I was just, yeah, all right.
And the top left is where we're headed. The top right is a mystery. That's where that question mark is that Akoto slaps on the wall. She draws this question mark. And she says to the three of you, to Utaku and the other Utaku, what is her name again? Your friend? I've got it written down somewhere. Yunju, yeah. Yunju, Utaku, Kiteo, that's what it is. You're the only first name that I didn't write down on this sheet. Diphthong and Isawa. She's kind of talking to you guys as she draws this map out on the cave wall in a sort of charcoal stone. She says, "It is unfortunate to deal with the Kairu. I wish I didn't have to send you to such a place today." From the shadow in the back of the cavern, a woman emerges. Akoto says, "I will not be sending you alone," with a grim expression on her face. "This one, just like you three, has been marked with a fire behind her eyes. She knows Kairu Saitomo, the son of the governor, at the city of the Rich Frog. I think Saitomo has seen the entrance to the mountain where you must go, although the brethren traveling with him did not happen to return along his side." And at this point, Chris, why don't you describe to us your new character that you're bringing in? Kakita's out.
Yes.
Kakita is actually, he's not like gone. I'm taking him over as an NPC, and I'm going to make him do some things that Chris probably wouldn't.
That's fair. Yeah.
He's gonna reappear. Don't worry, he's not gone. And he will be friendly. Don't worry about it. But basically, just before you kind of take over the scene and start describing stuff, I want to. So when I say there's a fire behind her eyes, your encounter with the omen or the Oracle of Fire has left you with a similar mark. It's not always visible, but basically what it's going to do mechanically is that the woman cannot alter your memories. She can alter what you've seen most recently, like you still don't remember her look, or you don't remember necessarily an entire exchange with her. Yes. But
does he tell us who
can't.
she is? Is she the Oracle of the Void, or
She is the Dark Oracle of the Void.
okay?
Yes. So she cannot. She can still like change your immediate perceptions and what you remember about those encounters, but she cannot like reach into your memory and take away your childhood.
Okay.
Which is something that she's been doing throughout the Empire. But this mark of the fire keeps her from doing that to you.
And she will recognize this when we encounter her.
You don't know that yet.
Okay.
There's no way you could know that. So
we don't have any dialogue with Kakita before he takes off, or
no, he specifically didn't talk. He was meditating. He looked like
slipped
he looked like he may commit harakiri, but he didn't. He decided to go on a journey without saying any words. Which, after what you guys have just experienced, wouldn't be an uncommon response.
no, honor was everything for him.
Yes, absolutely. So he has wandered off, presumably back to his old dojo and lord. This woman has emerged from the shadow in the back of the cavern and describe Soshi Arisa to us, Chris.
Yep.
Oh, you're going to play a woman too. Huh?
Yes.
Ah.
You're going to need to change the crane icon in the picture to a scorpion.
At some point.
At some point, yeah. A little different. Great. More work. Yay.
Crane, scorpion, same thing.
Kind of.
Just
yeah.
draw a little
Yeah.
little barbed tail, you know.
Yeah, there's kind of a bad joke that the scorpion clan colors are really black, red, and flesh. That is not her at all. Her kimono is always very tight and trim and proper and very fastidious and pure. It's red base with what looks like tie-dyed rings around it. Some of those have been embellished to become the scorpion mon, and some are just kind of still the rings. The obi is black with a red trim there too, so it kind of stands out a little bit. The most distinctive thing is the mask she wears, which starts at a point above the left eyebrow, kind of widens around the face, covering her right eye to a point down at her jaw again, which is black. And there's an embellishment of a scorpion with an eye through the stinger through an eye.
So one of her eyes is exposed and one of her
Right.
eyes is not. Okay.
Yeah.
This is my friend, Soshi. She knows Saitomo. I'm not sure how well, but
Well enough.
she should be able to guide you through the Rich Frog.
I see.
Indeed.
And
It is good to meet you all.
You
I
have been
sense the
touched.
fire with you.
you have seen the
especially
Oracle?
you.
Did you encounter the Oracle in the dreamscape?
I have encountered the Oracle in some fashion. Most likely it was a dream. I do not know if it was the dreamscape itself or where.
Very interesting.
It was not as direct as apparently you all have had.
Yes, it was very direct. We got there indirectly, and now we are here. And I hope it was worth it.
If we can save Rokugan, it will be.
Yeah. And what does it mean to save Rokugan?
That is something we must find out.
Yeah.
I think you guys are getting quieter. As
If
talk.
you were
We
hav-
are. Because we're trying to be dramatic.
if you don't know what it means to save Rokugan, then why did you allow the Dark Oracle of Fire to make a move?
That's interesting. Do you know clearly what it means to save Rokugan from this disaster? Okoto asked that. It's interesting that you pick apart your friend when... Do you have a clear answer?
On what it means to save it or how to save it? I don't know
Both.
how to save it.
What does it mean to save it? What are you saving? Please, Lady Otaku, surely somebody so critical would be able to give a quicker answer.
She is a bushi. Fighting is her way.
I also celebrate the way of the warrior, and
She likes
I
you.
also don't know the best way.
Sometimes there is no straight path.
But the Oracle hasn't trusted me. He trusted you. He trusted you. He trusted you. And old man, he somehow trusted you.
Old man.
Very old.
I see.
He's at least like 15 years older than anybody else in the cavern.
Well, speaking from personal.
Yes, but at least I have my hair.
He
It's
isn't
easy
some.
to-
It makes sense he would be.
For some, it is easy to be critical of any decision, but we had no choice. A decision had to be made. Whether it was the right decision or the wrong decision, we won't know. But unfortunately, it was a decision that was thrust upon us because it was the lesser of two evils or the lesser of many evils. Who knows?
All I know, this is the path that my father put me on, and I have not always given him the most due respect that he should have been entitled to. And in death, I will do what I must to give him his honor.
You have had a change of heart. That is interesting to see.
Change of heart? I'm not so sure. Maybe a different view.
Sometimes a different perspective is all that is required.
Sometimes it is. I'm afraid that you resting here tonight may not be an option.
Oh, is that so?
Please feel free if we have the time, but everything must be rushed. I don't know what you learned of the woman, but I was the only of my class to make it out of Toshiranbo alive.
You mean from just now? Just recently? When did you leave Toshiranbo?
As soon as we got there. You three walked into the magistrate's chambers and she stopped us outside of the gates. She made you think that we were with you. That's whatever she is, she messes with the memory and the mind, and it's illusion. It's disaster.
What can you trust if you cannot trust your own thoughts?
Nothing. But Lady Soshi has shared with me that she's also encountered the woman, and the woman could not alter her mind after she had spoken with the Oracle's emissary. And so I think I have to stay here. But I think you can go. I think you can seek out these things. This cavern that I've drawn on the wall, it marks a place that I don't even know if it's real, but
Is that where you believe the wellspring is?
yes, somewhere in the mountains and Dragonlands, and under a very, very steep peak. It's the mountain spring of Kamigami no Tomi.
Not Kamigami. Natomi.
It's the wealth of the gods. Perhaps there are answers there. It's so far it's the only thing close to luck that we could find.
I see. Well, we have no direction. This is a direction. I'm not sure what to trust. Do I have time to meditate before we go? I need to center myself. Many things have happened, and I am
It would be better if you could meditate on the journey.
very well. I will do so.
Lady Soshi has contacts in the Rich Frog. It's between here and the mountains, along the river.
That is a trading center, I believe. Is that?
It is. It's... Well, for the most part, you three should fit in there fairly well now.
I
Having
never concern myself with fitting in. I'm a monk.
I don't know that many would consider you a monk any longer.
Yes, we will have to discuss that. I don't know all, but I know enough. Are we Ronin now?
Very much so.
For all intents and purposes. I am as well. And I think now you notice that she's not wearing her family crest. She's not like not wearing her samurai garb, but she's specifically not wearing a mon, because she's also trying to figure out, like, what should I have people call me now? Like, I ran away. So what do I do?
I am not so big on titles, as it were. Perhaps that is one of the reasons that I always had trouble. I am still Dragon. Obviously, I go by Miramoto instead of Tagashi, which is against type. Perhaps it is time to no longer use our family names. I am Diphthong. Perhaps you could refer to me as Diphthong.
I think we've been through enough that I consider myself honored to be able to call you Diphthong.
I will be honored if you would do so.
And likewise, I am Ari.
Ari?
Ari.
Ari? It is a pleasure to know you more deeply, Ari.
Yunju kind of looks at you. Kateo,
Yeah.
should we trust them? I mean, we're not far from home. We can bow out. The only people that know that that you at least were even remotely related to this ordeal, well, they're all still in Toshiranbo. You can go home and have freedom and continue your journey toward championship.
That would not be sincere.
However, I allowed my comrade to die, and I fled the closest thing that I'll probably ever get to being an Emerald Magistrate.
Those are harsh words when the truth was you were found unconscious.
The truth is that I survived and they did not, and this is not a time of war.
The survivor's
Yet.
guilt. Why is it that we are condemned for surviving things beyond our control?
Because I don't think anybody will know that it was beyond your control. The expectation was that you would stay and not meddle. And you didn't do either of those things.
No, but that is not the expectation for me and my family. I am blessed in that regard. Y'all have much more constraints on yourselves than I do.
Well,
Perhaps maybe not the unicorn as much.
I know it's Dragon's ways to abandon and be kind of leafy and...
Huh.
I don't know why Kateo has to insult everyone all the time. She can't just say, yeah, I'm going to stay and help out. She's like, no, your clan sucks. I'm going to stick around.
First off, he insulted me.
That was not an insult.
I took
Because
it
I
as
didn't.
such.
Well, I apologize if you take that as
You
insult.
question my sincerity. I'm saying that was my reasoning.
Well,
Yeah.
no, I would question
I was
going.
like,
no, I said going back would be.
I said
insincere.
I told the Emerald Magistrate I would help resolve the issue in Toshiranbo. I am still on that journey.
Yes, but what he was suggesting was that you could abandon this and go back, and I said
Then I would have abandoned my duty.
And then that was my comment. That would be insincere if you did that. But we digress.
Well, if you're staying, I'm staying. At
Will
least
you
for
journey
now.
with us?
At least for now. You need all the help you can get, right?
Yes, we do.
And I think you notice that she does not have that flame behind her eyes.
But she was there.
You notice that she's not marked, but she hasn't been trusted by the Oracle.
That's fine.
So, is the flame something that people that have the flame can see in everybody? Or is it something that...
I'll say you can see, if you have it, yeah, you can see it.
Okay,
If you don't have it, it's not noticeable.
got you. Unless you know what to look for, perhaps.
Yeah, and it's more like a kind of glare behind the pupils, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I picture, the little flame
Sure.
image bouncing around,
Yeah.
Either way, I trust Asawa, and I understand he knows more of these ways than me.
Isawa just offered for you to call him Irie. You now insulted him by calling him by his last name.
Also, still
Flaming
not that
katana.
close. Known them for a day.
That doesn't matter. He
Been through a
offered for
lot
you to
in
call
that
it to him.
They were talking to each other.
Oh,
Not
okay.
I
Okay,
interpret it
okay,
that way.
okay.
Y'all, they've been together
Fair
longer.
enough.
Okay. Well,
I wasn't going to interpret it to call him that unless he said that.
I haven't yet.
Yunji kind of takes off her mon and wraps it up and puts it in her pack. If we're doing this, we're doing this. My name is Yunji.
Yunji.
Oh yes, that's right because you can't say it. I forgot.
Whatever. What is it? Yunju?
Yunju.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yunji's fine.
Yunji. Yeah, we're going with Yunji. Whatever help I can offer, I will be here until it is finished.
We'll be happy to have your help. I don't know what lays ahead, but if it's anything like what we've gone through already, it's going to be a very interesting day. Reminds me of the ancient Chinese proverb, "May you live in interesting times."
What is China?
Chinese chicken?
What is Chinese?
It's some other world.
Chickeny Chinese.
Okay.
Good point.
I do not believe that is a proverb. I believe that is a curse.
That is a curse, yes.
So she has shared her name. Do you do the same? It's
Say
not.
that
It's
you
totally
brought-
up to you.
No. I know. I was gonna like.
I
I,
mean, now I
wanted to
only
be
have-
snide and be like, look at Isawa and go, you can call me Kateo, and then Itutaku.
That would be very funny and very fitting, actually, for you to do that to a Dragon Clan member. I would enjoy that greatly.
I would not be offended.
So you may call me Kateo.
You insulted him again. Just straight up.
He's a. No. If
Have you offered
he
it
didn't
to
correct,
everybody?
he didn't correct me the first time.
No, not yet.
Thus,
Okay.
I offered first.
Okay. Okay.
Kateo.
But it's a taco to you.
I do not care.
Kateo, understand that today has been a very trying day for me. I greatly appreciate what you offer. You too may call me Asawa. Or yes, let's go with Asawa. Screw it, I'm done.
Asawa.
We've
Got
been doing
it.
it for so long.
Yep. It's Asawa Sama, damn it.
Get it right.
Ari?
Okay.
You too may call me Ari.
All right.
So Shusero.
So let's do
Soshi?
let's do conversation
Oh,
on the
that's right.
road.
Shusero was
Yeah.
Soshi.
Jason's character.
Yeah. Let's do conversation on the road. Let's go ahead and move out of the cavern to begin the journey. Otherwise, we'll be in this cavern for the next 7 episodes if I let you guys just talk.
Yeah, that'll happen.
So you all exchange pleasantries and you get to know each other a little bit on the journey. Would you like the city of the Rich Frog is kind of in the middle of this river that runs from here up north and then finally out to the coast through the Dragon Mountains. Would you want to walk the path or would you take a raft down the river?
I'd like to. I'll water walk.
Well, that's still walking.
Well,
So
that's you. The
essentially-
rest of us need another way to get there.
the difference in the two is about a 3 days journey by walking, or you can make it there overnight on a raft.
Oh, well, then definitely we want to walk because time is of the essence.
Well, the two differences are going to be the people that you'll get to encounter once you're in the city.
Yes, but she's made it clear that time is
yeah.
of the essence.
Sure. So you
That's
guys
why I
will,
can't meditate.
you can meditate while you want.
On a raft.
Or while you're on a raft, yeah. So that's easy enough. I don't think I'm going to make you guys make any checks for being on the raft. Basically, I wanted to figure out, like, essentially which NPCs would be available to you when you got there, because of the comings and goings of the city itself. So you do your travel overnight. There's basically no interruptions, no issues.
I will do some water walking while I'm doing that.
Okay, well, they leave you behind because they're on a raft following the current, and you're walking with your own muscles.
Well, no. I won't allow the raft to leave me, but I will do some experimenting with my new ability.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That'll work. So you guys head toward the city, and you may even catch a few hours of sleep as you travel. But basically, as the sun is rising, you see the city come into view. It's a fairly normal city. As you approach, you're of course stopped by some guards, but the first thing you notice is that while most places in Rokugan are very colorful because of the various samurai there, this place is very gray and brown and kind of drab, and not because the people are that way, but because this is a city built for, by, and governed by Ronin. The city itself belongs to the Lion clan, but before the Lion took it over. So the brief history of the city of the Rich Frog, it was owned by the Unicorn. Unicorn left. Ronin took over. The Lion did not think that was a great idea. So the Lion then took it over, but they said, okay, Ronin, you can govern it for us. And then the Unicorn came back and they didn't get it back. They tried, but it didn't work.
Failed again.
Failed once again. So here, the sort of notable locations that I think Arissa would know would be the Grey Garden, which is a Ronin-friendly inn that works hard to kind of keep rooms full in order to be able to push actual samurai out, so that like the Ronin are the people that feel the most comfortable here because the Ronin protect the city. They basically are. They literally are the samurai that watch over this place. And so the innkeeper wants to keep them very happy. Haiko, which is a local geisha house run by a man of the same name. The Governor's Palace, which is a fairly well-kept facility compared to the rest of the city. Not that the city's kind of worn down. It's not as bad as Tushy Rambo, but it is run by Ronin. But underneath the Governor's Palace, there is a sort of hidden but not hidden secret opium ring that is run from here. And then finally, the Howling Widow is a tea house in town that conceals, it's rumored that this tea house conceals a mailroom full of secrets delivered on a countrywide scale.
Sounds like a scorpion's dream.
Well, it is very close to Scorpion Lands. So your kind of goal,
Yes.
your goal in being here is that Arissa has a contact who we think may be able to offer an actual map to Kamigami no Tomi's entrance. Beyond that, the city is yours. What would you like to do?
I'm going to find a Shinsei garden,
Okay.
and I'm going to go there, and I'm going to meditate.
Okay. Let's play that out for a minute. So you guys come into the city and you kind of part ways, wandering to your various locations. I think, Arissa, you don't need the party with you to go talk to Saritomo. In fact, it's probably better that they're not with you.
It could be, yeah. I'm going to do my morning prayers and then go
because he knows you, not them.
Yeah.
So you wander for a Shinsei garden, and you're having trouble finding one. The city very quickly becomes loud and bustling as people wake up, and they just kind of start their day. They don't really have these big routines that the samurai have because, well, they care. They're outside the Celestial Order anyway for the most part. So they just kind of begin. They begin trading. They begin marketing. They begin eating. They just start and they just go. But eventually you are able to stumble into it's almost like you walk through a soundproofing tunnel. because like it goes from all of this noise to very suddenly this small, like 5x5 garden in the corner of the city. That kind
5
of
foot by 5
it's
foot.
very small.
That's very small.
But it's got
It's
a
all
small
bonsai,
it's
yeah.
got a small shrine to Shinsei and some shrubbery, and it's quiet, peaceful, designed specifically for single person meditation.
Okay. I will go in there, and I will basically, sit down and cross-legged, and I will make a small offering
Okay.
to Shinsei, and then I will just start meditating. I will empty my mind, and I will just
Now, Shinsei was a person. He's not a fortune.
right.
So you wouldn't really provide an offering to
Probably
him,
so.
but it would be more like meditating on his sayings.
Yes.
So, in the process of this, are you seeking Lord Takashi's insight? Or is this like its standalone, its own meditation?
This is just meditation.
Okay, so go ahead and roll me a meditation check. Probably meditation in void, I would imagine.
Okay, I'm sure it's probably earth because
Well, it depends on
it's
what you're.
void, yeah.
It depends on what you're trying to do with it.
yeah, it would be void.
Yeah.
And I had
Target number will be just one.
and lots of opportunity, lots and lots, but no 4 opportunity and no successes.
Okay, I think 4 opportunity.
We only keep 2 of those.
Yeah, you can only keep
Oh, that's right. 'cause
dice
it's
equal to
void,
your ring.
and it doesn't matter. So it's 2 opportunity.
2 have strife and 2
Okay.
don't. So I keep the ones
It's
that don't have
void.
strife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with 2 opportunity on a void roll, I think before you, the garden expands. Not to where you could like walk, but it almost like goes from this 5x5 square to an entire field. And very suddenly you get kind of the same sense you had during your Genpuku ceremony, where this is not a normal meditation. This is perhaps Tagashi or Shinsei or some other entity trying to give you some kind of insight, but you maybe even kind of like in the mind's eye kind of state, get up and try to run through the field looking for what it might be, but you maybe even spend an hour doing this and you're not able to find really anything. Now, your opportunity, I'll say you kind of hit the like right points of chakram or whatever it is in Rokugan that like you opened this channel and you can remember how to get there.
Okay.
So like as you meditate in Shinsei's shrines in the future, you may be able to recreate this like by choice.
And this is an endless field, basically.
Basically.
Okay. And that would fit kind of like Shinsei because it's wide open.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there are no strictures and everything's an illusion. And
Yeah. So I'll say kind of the opportunity is that you find some kind of enlightenment in this. You find like it's very much a sign of like we're on kind of a track, whether it's the right one or not. You can't really discern, but you're being paid attention to. Let's do the Utakus, Kateo and Yunji. What do you guys do? Where do you go in the city? If you want me to relist some of the available like hotspots, I can do that. Or if you have an idea of somewhere else you'd like to go.
No, I'm thinking more gonna go around looking for supplies, seeing that we're going up to the mountains.
Okay.
Or that was what I
Sure.
was last with
Yeah.
that map
Yeah.
of going around looking for just supplies that we would need
That makes sense.
to go on the journey.
I think you're able to find some rope. I think you'll need to make a skill check. I think commerce, and how do you approach it? Now the normal kind of samurai way of, hey, we need stuff, our lord will pay for it, does not work.
Why?
So like, I think initially you guys approach this shop and you start picking out, like you pick out probably 30-40 koku worth of stuff, and you like slap it all on the table, and you're like, and they're like, how will you be paying for this? And you're like, I left my American Express at home.
But I have 30 or 40 koku right here.
No, you don't. I know exactly how much you have.
Oh, really? How much is that?
I don't know, like somewhere around 4 to 7. Because that's what every starting character gets, and you have not received any more.
They don't pay
So,
us.
No, there's no need.
All right.
There's no need for samurai to have money.
But money stains your soul.
There's even less need for a monk to have money.
Most
so,
people just give us stuff.
Exactly. And so you kind of slap all this stuff on the counter, and then she's like, the shopkeeper says, that'll be, yes, I think 47 koku. And sorry, I did not see this climbing apparatus. 47 koku and 7 bu.
Boo.
That's another. I don't know what it's worth, but I know that's another form of currency. So I'm just gonna go with it. It's less than a koku.
So that would be boo-hoo.
Like dollars and quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my approach is going to be to try to exchange services to him for it.
Okay. So how do you respond? He kind of tells you that what this price is going to be, and he just kind of waits expectantly for you.
Yes, I'm trying to think of how I...
Yeah. Well, and Yimji kind of pulls her bag around, and there's like a little pocket where she would keep money, and she pulls out a little the sash that has the like official Yuriki Mon title on it, and she kind of twirls that in her fingers and kind of looks at you like, should I?
No.
And you would know, like, this thing would be extremely valuable.
Yes, I know. Is it possible, or perhaps I can be of and perhaps we can work on an exchange of services?
I don't know what you could offer me, but what do you got?
I've got a horse.
Actually, no, I don't. I'm quite upset about that.
Well, you'd have to go get it, but
And I would never trade that horse, so...
He reaches under his desk and pulls out a set of scales that has a dragon instead of like a Lady Justice. Meet Dormu the Deals Dragon. What do you have to offer me? And he kind of puts the price of what it would be in one side of the scale and kind of motions to the other.
Dormu the Deals Dragon. I have a vision. A new game show.
He's not helping.
Okay, so while you think about what you'll offer, I'm going to skip over to Irie. What do you want to go do? I'm imagining your like first goal is tea house, right?
Yes, it is.
I figured.
But not specifically to kind of decompress. I mean, that's we're in an area where Ari is like, I've always looked down at this, and I find myself in this same situation.
Oh, okay.
So it's like he's almost in contempt of himself at this point. But no, I would be going to the tea house, but my specific goal in the tea house would be to see if I can overhear any conversations of anybody who may have been, that knows anything about this kind of cave or entrance or where, the mountains that we'd be going into.
Okay, so kind of to not spy, but to try to overhear.
Correct.
Okay. I don't know that people would be like talking about it here. It's not like a big, widely known secret, but maybe maybe you could make a theology or like some kind of theory check, some kind of insight to see maybe what its function is. The only keyword that Akoto gave you was luck. And so, I don't know, maybe you can use that in some way in this conversation to your advantage.
Luck. Wow, that doesn't help much.
Yeah, no, I mean, luck in this culture, I think, has a heavy importance because nothing is attributed to luck, right? Only the extraordinarily, like, lucky things. It's not like, oh, we had a good crop yield, I guess that was lucky. It's more like
The fortune smiled on us.
yeah, exactly. It's very clear that this is abnormal and it's good fortune that's come upon somebody by the fortunes.
Okay. See, but even in that scenario, I guess what Ari would be looking for is there would be individuals who would be not used to that, and they would see that they've been shown those fortunes, so they would be very flamboyant about the fact that they have kind of like this bumper crop kind of scenario.
Yeah, I think. I think you can make the check. The target number is going to be pretty hard, because, like I said, this isn't like. It's not like the Holy Grail that everybody just kind of knows about it.
Right.
It's got a like pretty specific use, and like she said, like Saitomo's party didn't come back with him, and so it's obviously not just a great place to go to. You know, the journey is not an easy one, and so it's not really like I think it's more like an El Dorado. Where like the people, when they hear about it, they don't believe that it could even exist, and the people that have sought it out didn't find it. And so you can make the check. You can make like the theology theorizing check, which I think is theology fire, or if you want to make a social check with fire, to try to kind of aggressively find this thing, because I don't think it'll come out in natural conversation. I think you're gonna have to press for it, and the target number is gonna be 3, which with fire is not bad.
No, that's not. I'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
So that's cocked. Okay, there we go. So let me see, because I have to have those. The explosion. I got it. So 4 successes and a strife.
Okay, which is another success.
Well,
right?
it's total.
So that's including the
Because you always take the strife from the fire ring anyway.
right.
So that's including the strife.
Okay. Yeah, but like, is it 5 successes with the
4.
strife or 4?
It's
Okay.
4. I already counted you.
Okay, cool. It's been a month since we played, so
Right.
I want to remind you guys.
No,
of
we're good. We're good on
rules
that.
as we go. I think you kind of hang out in the tea house and you see that there are a couple of games of Go going on some of the tables as they drink their tea and enjoy the kind of morning dew. And eventually you hear somebody who has lost every game this morning very quickly complain about, like, man, if I could just, I should have gone with Saitomo. I wouldn't have died, and B, I'd be able to beat you by now. Like, if I had that kind of luck, you would not want to play me. And so you kind of hear that, and then you press into that. You kind of go to that table, and maybe even play a game.
I'd offer some tea as well.
Okay, yeah. Let's do that. So you offer the tea. That's simple courtesy. You don't need to roll for that. But I think let's roll a games roll.
A games roll.
Oh boy, you're in your
Wow.
element now.
I think let's roll a games roll. I think let's see. And here's something you can do. So it'll be kind of a deceptive roll. So you would need to roll water, but you can, like, instead of rolling to win, you can roll to let him win in a way that makes him look really good. If that makes sense, like run a gambit that, like, is intentionally, like, buttering him up to open him up for conversation.
That's
okay.
subterfuge.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so that's why I like water, like some, like, flowy, like, haha, he doesn't see what I'm doing. Now the target number to fool him, because he has played a lot of Go, is going to be 2.
Well, I'll call good luck on this one.
Okay.
Just see what happens.
Now you do have a void point if you need to increase it.
You know what? We'll go ahead and spend it. Why not?
Okay, great.
I mean, it's Go. Can he use tactics?
You're also enjoying tea, by the way, so you can go ahead and take off 3 strife if you would like for your passion.
Well, I only have 1, so I think
You're going to hold off on that?
I think I'll wait.
You're going to wait until you see what strife you get from this roll?
Now, on the void, is it adding
So
another...
void point adds another ring die, so it's a black die.
Okay, that's what I
And
thought.
you get to keep an extra die as well. And since you're in the water ring, and that's not something Isawa normally gets into, you can perform an additional action that doesn't require a check, if there's something you would like to do.
Yeah, that didn't work out as well as I had hoped. It's 1 success with 2 opportunity.
Okay. So I think the 2 opportunity is that you do... he notices that you're... He sees what you're doing. He notices pretty quickly. And in the midst of that, he says, now if you're not going to play me for real, then why'd you even... Like, this tea's not that good. So, and you didn't brew the tea, you ordered the tea, so don't feel offended by that. He's definitely saying that against the tea house. He says, this tea's not that good. This game's not that fun. Like, if you're... What do you want? Why would you... You're a stranger. Why would you come over here and, like, let me win a game? And so he I think the opportunity is that he notices he's frustrated, but he opens up the conversation for you.
Well, you're very observant, my friend. I just was more curious about the statements you made of you should have gone and you didn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's gone to... I'm assuming what you're saying is what I was screaming about a moment ago with Saitomo's...
Well, I don't think anyone
Sure.
could hear us. They could miss that, frustration.
Yeah, sorry about that. I know, I mean, you look very samurai-like, but no, I don't know. I feel like if I had gone, we would have got there first, and I feel like Saitomo wouldn't have lost his arm. And
You seem to know a lot about this Saitoma. Tell me,
he's a friend of mine.
really?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we don't have like structures, so like the governor's son, he'll be here probably in an hour. I don't know. He just kind of hangs out. He's just a guy. We're all just guys. I know, like, I see your red robes. I get it. You're Phoenix, right? Right? I'm right, right?
Once.
Well, once a Phoenix, always a Phoenix. But I know this is probably new to you, but the Rich Frog, we don't really like separate. I mean, Moto over there, they've been a Ronin for a while, but we don't call him Moto, right? Like, I mean, he was a samurai for years, but he like broke some covenant with his lord and was banned from his family, and now he's here, and we should call him Jim. Jim's a cool guy.
I'll kind of like I'll give a laugh to that one, just kind of trying to play along without being too cynical.
Damn it, Jim! I'm still a samurai.
Yes.
Then he goes, "Hey, yo, Jimbo."
Even a Ronin is still afforded some level of respect.
Kevin just got it.
Just don't. No, don't.
I mean, sure, respect, bow, whatever. We're just all friends here, and we all do the things, and Saitomo's just a normal guy with the rest of us.
Why did you not go with him?
Because it's dangerous, and I didn't think that I could have done it, but I guess I could have done better than those guys.
Do you know how to get there, or is just Saitoma know how to get there?
It's in the mountain. He says he went. He says he went. He says he got there. He says that they did some crazy thing in like a hidden dojo, and that's how he lost his arm. I have no clue.
Hidden dojo.
I have no clue.
Really, a hidden dojo.
That's what he said. It sounded crazy to me. Trust me. I think they just got attacked by some bears. Like there's no, like, there's no hidden dojo in the Dragonlands that the dragon don't know about. So, but that's honestly that's what I know. I just know that I could have done better. Or I feel like I could have done better. But maybe heck, at least I noticed you trying to let me win. But
so how about a real hand?
Let's go. And I think the scene closes on you guys resetting the board and going at it for real.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the result of that game isn't important, but it's important to play the hand.
Right.
All right. Let's go to Arissa. I think you pretty quickly find Saitomo. You know exactly where he would be.
We'd be hanging out, yeah.
You've known him for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And you find him kind of there. So the city itself is in the middle of the pond on like a large rock face or not pond, river. There's like a big double bend that goes around and a large enough space to fit the city on. And so the river kind of flows on both sides like a moat. And so you find him kind of leaning on a railing, chewing on a reed, or not a reed, but like a wheatgrass. And you see that he's leaning on the fence with his right arm, and his left arm is in a sling, but it's cut off from the elbow up, right above the elbow. And he just doesn't have a left arm, which is new.
Okay.
So in that case, he's all right.
He's all right.
Yeah.
Well, mostly right.
Mostly right.
He's about 6 pounds lighter.
Yeah, it's a good way to lose weight.
That's right.
Well, it's good to see you again, Saitomo-san. Though it looks like you have an interesting story to tell.
Arissa. Interesting isn't the right word. I think sad. Well, not all. I've got some friends left, but friends died. It's good to see you, though. Thanks for visiting. I really appreciate the concern.
It is always good to see you.
Well, what can I do for you?
I understand that you may know where the mountain spring of Kamigami no Tomi is. I sense that it has something to do with your recent misfortunes.
I do. Well, I don't, but I do. It could be there. That's all I know, is that it could be there. I just know that we didn't make it. We didn't get past. It's just like, you're gonna think I'm nuts. I can't. My dad already thinks I'm nuts. He's like threatened to exile me from the city because of my story. I was attacked by bears. It's fine. We're fine. How are you?
I have seen many crazy things. I would not presume you to be crazy by having a fantastic story.
So I think courtesy roll is in the mix here.
Okay.
Yeah. I think courtesy to try to kind of tease it out of him and show your sincerity
Mm-hmm.
in the midst of that. So I think maybe courtesy and air,
Sure.
perhaps.
Yeah. Trying to be subtle or playful here.
Yeah.
A success with an opportunity.
Excellent. So that's enough to kind of get him to open up, and he kind of sighs and says, "You really are. You're gonna think I'm dumb, but I was attacked by a crazy ghost of a monk, and he took my arm."
I would not think that unusual in Dragonlands.
Well, I thought it was unusual, and it caught me a little bit off guard. So maybe you will be able to survive if that's not crazy to you. The opening that I found, there's this mountain. It's not exceptionally tall, but nothing grows past its base. It's totally barren. It's all rock. It's like a giant tooth. And about halfway up that rock, you can kind of slip in. Like you'll find some trickling water that you can slip. You can kind of slip in if you're small enough, in between the cracks. And that's how I found this, this crazy monk's dojo.
A full dojo in the mountains too.
Yeah, no, I told you it's insane. It's just this hidden training ground of death. Truly, it's just a training ground of death. But yeah, that's what I got. I don't want you to go there. I don't want anybody to go there. Listen, if I had, I've considered getting rid of myself so that this information can die with me.
Well, I would not go to that extreme.
Well, I haven't. I still like sake too much. But I thought it, because this is not a good place for anyone.
Perhaps we can find it and cleanse it to relieve it of its harmful qualities.
If you do, he kind of he starts to reach back with his left hand and realizes he doesn't have it, and so he kind of twists back to his right hand, and out of his kind of pouch he pulls a canteen, and he hands it to you, like with his hand kind of shaking. If you find this spring, bring me back some of the water.
Of course.
If it's magical enough, maybe you can regrow my arm. I don't know.
And anything could be possible. But I
Well,
shall bring you some water, and we shall do what we can.
Thank you.
Of course.
And so I think at that point, let's split over to Taku. And what do you want to trade? What service do you want to trade? Keeping in mind you don't have much time.
So what supplies picked out are more crucial?
I think things like rope, like I mean things like your bedroll and stuff, that was all left on your horse. You didn't need it because you had the inn.
Yeah.
So it's all in your saddle. So you basically have your standard clothes. You don't even have your armor, and you have your weapons. Like you have what you carried to the pond. So you kind of need a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Probably some food, or at least something to hunt with, unless you carried your Yari with you. And that's kind of up to you. I didn't ask you guys what equipment you were holding, so like that's totally up to you. Whatever you were carrying, but I think be reasonable
I
with
never got the chance, so no.
Yeah, it's fine. Like I said, like retroactively, you can say, yeah, I took my bow because like I'm always ready for, like we're investigating. I'd be ready for battle. I would be totally fine with that. If you don't want it, cool. It's up to you. Because I didn't ask, I didn't give you a chance to say this is the gear I'm carrying. So, and you guys have a lot of gear that you carry around with you. Like you came into town on horseback, ready for journey.
Pretty much everything I own, I carry in my satchel bag.
Yeah. Diphthong's got a fanny pack.
Well, it's a man bag, if you must know.
it's called a satchel. Indiana Jones has one.
Yeah, I'll have my Yari.
Huh?
Yeah, I'll have that.
Okay. It makes sense. It makes sense for you to have had that.
It does.
You've of course got your weapons. I think like things like rope and food are probably the primary.
Yeah.
But I think before you can like submit to that, Yunji does. She like slides that mon over. Says this could be sold, and she unfurls it and shows that it's the mon of a Yuriki. Says it's mine. Checks out. Would you take this at least as a momentary trade, perhaps until we visit the city again? And I think between the two of you, I'm going to make you make the roll for it, but go ahead and make a commerce roll. And I think too, you could probably stake some honor. You've got a lot of it.
Yeah.
You literally, that's not me joking, you literally do. And you could say like, I'm well known, among samurai, like even Ronin.
Well, that would be glory or status.
Well, yeah.
Glory. Yeah.
Glory status. You have very little status right now. We haven't really addressed it, but the status of the samurai Ronin is not that much. but yeah, I mean, you can kind of leverage your like even Ronin know my name.
Okay.
Like so you could stake, like if you staked like 10 glory on the roll.
Okay. What is it? Just to make the roll, or?
No, I think if you never came back, like if like when you came back to the Rich Frog, if you didn't kind of address this sort of debt, then you would lose that 10 glory.
Okay.
Essentially. But that would kind of be enough to push it to be an easier check.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. So it'll be just target number 1, commerce check. What ring are you rolling?
Water, because that is exchange.
Okay. Kind of bartering.
Yeah. So 2.
2? Perfect. Yes, I can take this for now. I do expect some real money, but if I sell this for enough, then your debt will be paid when I see you again. But please do not forget this favor, Samurai.
I will not.
And he appreciates you and pushes you on your way. And I think before the end of the day, you guys have enough information and you have done enough stuff. And I think abstractly, you do all the things you would want to do in town, right? You visit the sake house, you visit the tea house, you do your downtime stuff, and then you're kind of ready to maneuver on. Is there anybody else you would want to visit?
If I would probably see if there were any known dragon in town, and then I would probably try to talk to them about this Kamigami, Tommy, Notomi, Kamigami Notomi, and if they know anything about it, or if they know anybody in the Dragonlands that I could talk to. That
I don't think you find anybody that has any more information than what you guys have already gained.
Okay.
And like I said, it's like with him telling you that this is like a hidden dragon dojo, like you would know about that. Like the dragon don't like hide their weird secrets from each other.
No, I know.
At
That's
least.
what I'm like.
And so like for him to say that and you not to recognize it is like this either is way in the past and has been forgotten, or it's something so dark that it's been erased from dragon history.
Okay.
But like there wouldn't be anybody that you would have immediate enough access to be able to like swing by and have a quick convo. And I think with that you guys finish kind of gathering this information and you're ready to move along, and I think the scene closes out with you back on the raft heading toward the Dragon Clan Mountains. And that's where we'll end this episode. So thanks so much for joining me. I hope you guys are enjoying this new kind of arc, this new kind of flow of things. I know I'm kind of railroading a little bit to get us where we're heading to, but I think I couldn't get us to the spring without first gathering information, and I wanted to kind of push that along because you guys can drag it along.
Oh yes, we can.
So in an effort to kind of give you guys more of a snapshot of how I would like future conversations to kind of flow, as well as give y'all also an opportunity like Miyamoto, the meditation thing, and giving you a chance to do samurai stuff by yourself. Because samurai don't tend to travel in flocks to do everything that they want to do. And so giving you an opportunity to also express some of that stuff as well. That's kind of was my goal today. So thanks so much for joining us. Until next time, keep on adventuring. If you're here with the live stream, we'll be back in about 5 minutes for the next installment of the session here.